welcome back to the floor.
This is our first time on the floor.
This is where you've never wanted to be.
This is where I spend a lot of time, especially during the pandemic.
This is where we fall.
Yes! Now you get to see point of view. This is where we end up. Every time Yunki drops me, and then I take everybody with me. So we had to fit 4 of us in frame, so it became logistically an issue. So this was my solution, and I'm sorry if it sucks, but I'm also not sorry. I'm doing my best. My place is so small. Anyways, you might have noticed that there's a certain someone here that you probably haven't seen on the channel in a while.
Quite a while.
And it's Katherine!
Yay! I'm back!
Katherine, as you may or may not have known if you've been following us for a while, she was/is in our dance team. However, she's been teaching and living in South Korea for, 3 years now?
3 years.
3 years. Basically, she's back visiting for a short time. And so we decided, because we're starved for content and human interaction, figured 2 birds, 1 stone. Let's make a video where we
miss each other and you guys.
Yeah. And you guys probably miss us. I mean, hair flip. That way we could record all these wonderful memories and questions. And then if anybody else wants to know about what it's like to teach and live in Korea as a Canadian woman, you can get some perspective. Especially if you're thinking of doing it yourself in the future. Anyways, I guess we're just gonna get started. We're gonna treat this like a conversation.
Okay.
So we're gonna split this into a few different videos to kind of cover a few bases. We're gonna start with living in Korea as a general thing. So we're not gonna talk about work yet. Just the living parts.
Okay. living is important. Let's do it.
We're doing it right now.
Living is good, guys. Keep doing it.
Oh, also just a full disclaimer: we are all vaccinated, 2 doses. That is why we're in such close proximity. Also, for once, our province in Canada is doing the right thing compared to everybody else. Actually, do you guys want
official.
Do you guys want water that we can?
That would be probably a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, now that we have water, like we're official interviewers or something, except that our mugs are obnoxious. They're so big.
Mine is so big.
That one was also a gift.
Can you even?
Actually, this one might be the only one I bought for myself. I think these are all gifts. Alright, so we're gonna start with the living in Korea.
Yeah.
Yes.
You live
So-
there.
I do live
Yeah, you do.
there.
You
I
do
live and I live there.
So, where do you live currently?
Right now, I'm living right on the border of Seoul, right near Goyang. It's right beside Bukhansan, in the northwest corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where did you live before that?
I was living in Suwon, which is a city about an hour south of Seoul, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it kind of smaller or?
I guess it's a mid-tier city. It's like a Winnipeg.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
very Winnipeg city.
Oh, okay.
Mid-tier city. Yeah.
Was transportation there decent? Like subway and buses, same as Seoul?
Yeah. Pretty much anywhere you go in Korea is going to have fantastic transportation.
That's what I miss the most.
Yeah.
Oh, full disclosure, I have been to Korea.
Yes.
I was there for 2 weeks, so it means I know everything.
You're basically an expert.
We were staying in Seoul, and then we went to Busan for a while. So spent some time there, following Koreans around. My 2 Korean friends were showing us around there, so I was just like a child following their parents, I don't know what's happening. So when you first moved there, which was 3 years ago, you moved to Suwon and you were teaching there.
Yes.
What was your biggest culture shock right initially when you got there that you weren't expecting?
That's a good question. This is not a culture shock, but the heat. Oh my god, because I arrived in August, and it was 40 degrees Celsius, and the humidity there in the summer is literally 90% all of the time.
Your messages when you landed being
Yeah.
it's so hot. You're oh my god.
You walk outside, you're outside for 30 seconds, and you're soaking wet. I remember before I moved there, my Korean friends were you have to shower 3 times a day in Korea, and I was that's bad for the environment. Why would you do that?
And your skin.
Yeah, and your skin. And then I moved there, and now 3 showers a day. Yeah.
But now you've adapted to it, and now you can't stand. We're in fall. We're in technically fall in Canada now. which is actually pretty warm compared to what it usually is.
Yeah.
Today it was 27 degrees
Yeah.
at its peak.
And I was in a sweater and pants. I am so cold.
Yeah.
Like, I'm freezing all the time. Even now, they're in shirts and t-shirts. I got freaking shirt with another shirt on top and jeans, like, and I even brought a jacket with me.
Yeah, she did. She was wearing a jacket when I picked her up, and I was like almost angry.
Like, this is unacceptable.
So obviously when you first moved there, you didn't really speak a lot of Korean,
Yeah.
if any at all.
Yeah.
I believe I told you a couple phrases to help you, but I don't know if you remembered them at all.
No.
So do you have any kind of like interesting, funny, or traumatic stories of language barriers?
Oh my god, so many. So many.
Not school related. We'll get to those later.
Yeah.
Just like life related.
Life related. Well, I think my favorites are just the sheer amount of times where like a Korean word would be the same as an English word. For example, there was this one time I went into a cafe with my friend and they had banana chocolate smoothies, right? So I was like, okay, I want to get a banana chocolate smoothie, which was banana choco smoothie. Like, it was literally called a banana chocolate smoothie.
Yeah.
So I go up to the cash register. She's like, okay, what can I get for you? And I was like, banana choco smoothie. And then she was like, eh? And I was like, banana choco smoothie. And she was like, more. Like, she was freaking out. And then I was like, oh my god, I don't know how to make it more clear. I just want a banana choco smoothie. And then I was with my Korean friend. And then my Korean friend came up and like pushed me aside and was like, banana choco smoothie. And she was like, ah. And then she punched it in. And then I got my banana chocolate smoothie. And I was like,
this is a lot like what happens to Wendy. There's actual video footage of this where they're like, she's like, computer,
yeah.
computer, and they're like, what, and she's like, computer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there were also, like, that would just happen a lot where, like, my friends and I would try and say something, but nobody would understand. But then if a Korean says it, like, they understand. But I think that's more because
They're expecting English.
Yeah. And the same thing would happen to me. Like, if somebody's speaking to you in English, but you don't expect them to speak in English, you're kind of like, oh, what are they saying?
It throws you off at first,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, but then once you're, like, it's like you're buffering. Like, the buffering falls in front of your face. And then after it's like, oh, wait a second, I know that word. And then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. But, yeah, that would happen a lot.
It's almost like you have to calibrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of, like, depending on where you are in Korea, some cashiers, like, panic
yeah.
when they see a white person
Yeah.
walking, because they're just like, oh no,
Yeah.
my high school English. Oh.
The English I never spoke, but I studied in grammar.
Like, I saw both sides of that in Korea. I saw many, like, usually cashiers. It was usually like young adults, teenagers, like working cash jobs or like food service that would like panic before we even said anything or even tried. And then Andrew would speak English and I'd be like, stop it.
Yeah.
They don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Or I'd get the people who are like, this is my chance.
Yes.
My chance to practice.
Oh my gosh, that is my favorite when that happens. Because they get so excited. They're like, oh my god. And
that happened the most in Busan, honestly.
Really?
Busan, they were. That's where I met the most excited people to speak English to me. The best was an old man, an ajashi, who was in front of me in line for hotok, and he just turned around and looked at me and said, what was it? Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday.
Yes. Yes. That's all that I've always wanted.
I was like, yes. He was a gem.
That is so cute.
He was really adorable. And then he just kept like exclaiming English words just like randomly the whole time we were in line together. And it was just, he was having a good time. You know, it was a good day for him.
Yeah. That's my favorite. It's not like the old addresses. It's always an addressee. And they're so excited and they come up and they just say like every possible English word that they know, but none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
So like they'll come up to you and be like, oh, very nice. Good day, good day. Ah, son, yes. Oh, yummy, yummy. And you're just like, okay. Yeah. It's really cute. Yeah. That's my favorite. Oh, they're so precious. Yeah. My other favorite was when I had to go to the doctor once, and, like, the doctor, I think I was, like, the first Westerner that he'd ever seen, like, in his clinic, and he was so excited about it. And then he was like, where are you from? And when I told him I was from Canada, he was like, oh my god, and we became best friends. He was like, Canada's my favorite country. He's like, my dream has always been to go ski in Canada. And I was like, yes, you should do that, sir. Like, you go, live your dreams.
I feel like a lot of Koreans who want to live in Canada, they just want to be outside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Well, we have,
Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, they just want to be outdoors. They don't care about anything else about Canada. They're just like, mountains and
Yeah.
forest and moose and beavers. And I'm like, I haven't seen most of that.
Yeah.
I've lived here for almost 31 years, so good luck, sir.
I have to say though, that was like when I came back last week, that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, the air is so fresh, the sky is so blue.
That's why we sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
As a foreigner living in Korea, because you lived abroad before, but not necessarily in a place that didn't speak English as any first or second language.
Yes.
What was your biggest fear before moving there, and did that change after you moved and like got used to things a bit?
Honestly, my biggest fear was probably just not making friends. Like, I wasn't so scared about, like, the cultural stuff or the language barrier or anything. It's just the fear of being alone. Like, when you go to a new place, especially coming from here, because I, like, was with the team all the time.
You had a community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, having that kind of
And
support system.
you had vast communities. Like, you had the
Yeah.
dance team, you had like 5 different friend groups. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So just having, like, all those people that you love and care for and, like, can rely on, and just having that be gone, like, that's a really scary feeling, to just be kind of isolated. I was lucky, though, because Ainsley came with me. I don't know if you guys remember.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, one of my best friends. One of the main reasons I decided to go to Korea is because she was going to study at Yonsei University for, like, a 6-month language program. So I was kind of only brave enough to go because I knew she was gonna go. So I kind of followed her there. But having her there was so good. Like, just having someone from home, especially someone from Winnipeg, to, like,
I think just having anybody that you can kind of like relate to
Mhm.
and can be like, because like as an introvert, like you're not an introvert, but as an introvert, I need an extrovert near me
Yeah.
to make friends. Like, it just won't happen organically most of the time. So I
Yeah.
just like, I need the proximity of somebody. Like, if I was to do what you did, I probably still wouldn't have friends to this day.
You could do it. You just, like, make a... I guess it's easy when you move abroad, though, because there's the expat community. Like,
Oh yeah,
I
true.
think anywhere you go, like, do you guys know anyone else living in other countries?
I have a few people on Instagram that I know, like my friend Richard, who's teaching in Thailand right now, and
Yeah. Yeah, because I think every country kind of has an expat community, and you always end up finding each other somehow. So, yeah. In regards to, like, did that change as I lived there? Obviously, like, I was lucky, and I did end up making some wonderful friends and stuff who were also teaching English there. And I still talk to them every day. Most of them have left now, but yeah, it's really hard. I don't know. Like, the only thing about living abroad, it's an amazing experience, and I would recommend it to everyone, but definitely, like, the hardest thing about it is just the feeling of loneliness and, like, isolation, I think.
I think for me, like, uprooting, like, you're just uprooting your life and putting
Yeah.
it somewhere else, like,
Yeah.
terrifying.
Mm.
I don't like thinking about it. I don't even like thinking about, like, moving to, like, another province. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like so much work.
Yeah, it really is. Like,
Oh, all my stuff.
Yeah.
I lived 20 minutes away from my parents' place, and it was a big day.
Right?
It was a lot.
My themes.
Yeah.
You were a vegetarian when you moved to Korea.
Oh, yeah, I was.
How's that going?
It exists. I think I lasted about 5 weeks after I moved there being vegetarian because Korea has no vegetarian food.
It's very meat.
Korea
is very meat.
Korea's very meaty.
You can quote us on that.
Yeah, no, I think about the only things you can eat in Korea that are vegetarian are French fries / various forms of fried potato, and pajeon, which is like those fried Korean pancake things, kimchi, rice, seaweed soup, which has fish in it, so that doesn't really count. And bibimbap. I try and be vegetarian when I can. Like, I wouldn't say I enjoy eating meat, but yeah.
You're probably like me, where you're just like, you eat so little meat that you're almost still vegetarian.
Yeah.
It's just
like I do eat Korean fried chicken a lot because that
Yeah.
stuff is delicious.
It's true.
But yeah, it's very hard to be vegetarian in Korea. I do have friends who did it though, like very
Really?
successfully. Yeah, but I think they were starving all the time. They were kind of like permanently hangry,
Yeah.
and I was like, that life is not for me.
I think you just need to get really good at cooking
Yes.
yourself.
But it's hard because it's such a social place. Like
It is, yeah.
all you do is go out with your friends, like
Eat.
drinking and cafes and eating. Yeah. So if you want to have a social life there, like
You
a
have
comfortable
to,
social
yeah.
life, because everything
You
they're
don't wanna be-
sharing too.
You don't want to be that friend who's like oh no, I'm not gonna eat anything. You guys can eat, but I
I'll
ate at home.
Exactly. Like, nobody wants to be that person.
I'm always that person.
Yeah.
But
I used to be that person.
I was like that because two things. I'm broke and I'm picky. So, like, those two things combined was just like, I'll just have a salad. Actually, that's probably one thing that is an issue. Like, when I'm, like, here in Canada, if we go to a restaurant, I'm not super hungry or I'm worried that I might not like the food, there's always a salad. There's always a salad. A form of a salad that is basic, like a Caesar or like a garden salad. That's probably not a thing in Korea at restaurants.
Yeah, no.
It's not like a base thing that you would find at any restaurant as like a go-to baseline.
No. And they also have this dressing that they put on like literally every salad, which is, I think it's kiwi, but it just tastes like Jolly Ranchers.
Oh.
I really don't want a Jolly Rancher flavored salad, to be honest.
I
so.
do.
I actually would love that. Man, if you ever go to Korea, I'm gonna buy that for you. It's more of a sad thing, but we'll find it. So anyway, it's possible, but would not recommend.
At a cost.
At a cost. At a cost of your sanity.
Speaking of food, though, any recommendations? What's your favorites?
Oh, I love odeng, which is like fish cake.
So
the fish
good.
cake. Fish cake soup is so good. Pajeon is delicious. They're like these big like fried pancake things. You can get kimchi ones. Oh, hot dog. Yes. Oh my god, it's amazing. It's like, can you explain what that is? It's
like a it's
fried
almost like
bread?
I don't know how to. I really don't know how to.
It's hard to explain.
It really is.
It's like a deep fried, hollowed out pancake.
Yeah. With brown sugar and seeds
different
and
seeds.
nuts. Like, it really depends on where you get it. Like, every kiosk kind of has their own recipe of what they put in there. Some places it was just sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
Some places there's like mixed nuts in there.
There was one lady in
It's
Suwon who used to make a peanut butter one, and it literally just had like melted peanut butter inside. It was the most delicious thing ever.
I'm such a hoe for hotteok.
Yeah, I think everyone is.
Yeah.
I don't know any not hotteok hoes. Hotteok hoes? Yeah.
And I didn't know about it till I went there.
Yeah, because nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about it. And it's
only
seasonal.
in Korea.
And
Yes.
it's seasonal.
It's definitely a winter
I didn't know that, and I was just lucky to be there during the season of hotteok.
you must have
What if
come
I went and it wasn't there?
Your life would have been changed forever. The horror. Yeah, that stuff is so good. Yeah. Or what else? I don't know. Korean fried chicken is really good. Oh, I'm not a kimbap fan.
You don't like kimbap?
No, I like sushi. I mean, I like triangle kimbap is good. Yeah, triangle kimbap from the convenience store is good if you want a quick thing. Or if you get chimek, like Korean fried chicken with beer, eating that by the river is so nice. That's like the best summer activity.
Especially when you get delivered to you.
Yes!
On
the
riverbank because the guy is like
find you.
handing out flyers and you just ask him to bring you some and then he goes and gets it and he brings it to you personally.
They started doing drone delivery.
That's what happened to me.
Oh my god! You can like the drone will bring the bag down to you. Yeah,
we didn't have drones. We had a dude.
No, it started because of Corona. Like to limit like the people in the park. It's so cool.
The future is in Korea.
It really is. The future is Korea. Yeah, they are wild. They're next level.
They're so ahead in technology, yet so far behind in other things.
Yeah. Pray for their soul.
You started a cafe Instagram.
I did.
Yes.
The cafe Instagram. Yeah.
So what inspired that? How's it going?
Oh well, for those who don't know, I have. Should I drop the name?
Yeah, plug it. We'll
Sick.
put it on the screen.
Okay.
With our skills.
Nice. So for those who don't know, I started an entire Instagram account dedicated to Korean cafes. Woohoo! It's called @KJ_Soul_Cafe. It's on Instagram and it's beautiful. Okay, well, basically, Korea has a lot of amazing cafes. Like, cafe culture in Korea is A+. They're fantastic. There's every kind of aesthetic you could want, from like the ever famous 2D cafe that I'm sure everyone has seen. There's a lot of factory style cafes. There's greenhouse cafes. There's like anime cafes that you guys would love. There's like a Studio Ghibli pop-up cafe that's happening right now. I know, it looks amazing. I really want.
I want to say Sailor Moon one so bad.
I know. I've heard they've had them before. They haven't had one since I've been there, but I really want to go. I hope they do a Sailor Moon one.
Better.
Yeah. But there's like everything. There's mountain cafes, seaside cafes, everything you could possibly want. And I really love coffee. I got a tattoo. I love coffee so much. So started an Instagram account. It's pretty great.
How many followers do you have on there now?
now we lost about half of them through COVID. We used to
Really?
have like 7,000, but I
That's
think
still
we're
a lot.
Yeah. I think I have 3,800 now. Because I used to do it with my friend Jenny, but then she
Yeah.
moved to the UK, so it's just me.
That was the J in
That
the
was
KJ.
the K. Yeah, should really just be K Soul Cafe, but it just doesn't have the same ring to it. So, yeah, she's gone, but Cafe Account's still running, still going. I'm about a year behind on posts. Currently posting cafes from September 2020, but, you know.
Content is hard.
Okay, so
Endless.
you'd mentioned that your cafe lost a lot of followers when like lockdowns happened. How was lockdown and COVID times in Korea?
Oh, it was honestly fine for like the first year. Like, because we saw kind of the West going, wow.
Your facial expression says it.
Yeah.
So the West set
Yeah.
on fire.
Shit, bottom up. Yeah, so we were kind of like, like so sweet the whole time on this high horse of safety because we had like 0 cases in Korea for so long.
Well, because the community there is very just like take care of each other more so
Yeah.
than it's like freedom over here.
Yeah, so when the government was like, hey, put a mask on and wash your hands,
And
like
social distance.
everyone did.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, personal rights, blah, blah. Like, everyone was just like, okay, we need to do this for each other. Like, so we had no cases for so long. And then there were some cults that decided to start doing some church stuff. Like, not real church, but like
I know
church.
I know what you're, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they contributed to like 2 or 3 mass outbreaks that set everything off.
So not very different from over here. We got
Yeah.
Springs Church.
yeah,
And Steinbach and Winkler.
it's basically the Korean
All the
Springs
shade.
Church.
I shade intended.
Yeah, so that kind of sucked. And then, yeah, it's kind of been nonstop since December, I guess. Like, we haven't really been in lockdown, but it's been in this, like, at least in Seoul, it's been different, like, throughout the whole country. I think most of Korea has been pretty normal. Like, I have friends who live in, like, Daejeon, who have been, like, out partying till 4 a.m. Like, clubs are still open, COVID doesn't exist. But, like, in Seoul, yeah, we've pretty much been in this, like, weird semi-lockdown since December. Where, like, but the thing is, it's so frustrating because the rules don't make any sense. Like, you are allowed to go to a full restaurant. There's no restrictions on, like, how many people can be in a venue. There's no social distancing, like, no 5 feet apart, whatever.
Like the tables don't have to be a certain distance or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. But there's a limit on how many people you can go into the restaurant with. So before it was a limit of 4 people. Like, you and 3 friends could go into the restaurant. But now, because we've tightened the restrictions, you and 1 friend can go into the restaurant. So there's
Full
a limit
hundreds of people.
Yeah. So, like, the restaurant can still be at full capacity with, like, 200 people inside as long as all of these people are in groups of 2.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Also, like, gyms, this made, like, international news. The gyms were not allowed to play music over, like, 150 beats per minute or something.
What?
So, like, they could
Yeah, I heard about this.
they could play, like, Dynamite by BTS, but they couldn't play Gangnam Style. Like, because COVID cares about that. And they're like, then like restaurants have to be takeout only from 10 p.m. and then it went down to 9 p.m. but now it's at 10 p.m. again. So like if you try and go out for dinner with your friends, it's insane trying to catch the subway at 10 o'clock because like the entire city is trying to catch the subway at 10 o'clock. And on top of that, they reduced bus and subway service even though they're forcing more people to take the bus and subway by closing
Yeah.
early. Like, so basically we're at the highest case count we've ever had. Vaccinations only just started. Like, they only just opened to the general public, like, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
2 weeks ago to ages 18 and up.
Yeah, you're a teacher, so you got yours earlier. Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm here right now is because I somehow managed to get in for a vaccine early because I'm a teacher, like a kindergarten, elementary teacher. So I got my first shot in July. But, like, all the Koreans I know, like, who are just working, like, they just got their first shots last week or 2 weeks ago. So it's pretty behind now. Like, we were off to such a strong start and now it's just crashed and burned.
What is it that you miss most about your home, like Canada, like Winnipeg specifically?
Oh, the food.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The food, oh my god. I'm like...
Which was, I was actually a bit surprised by it, but then when you explained it to me off camera, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I just think of Winnipeg food as average at best, but...
Which food do you miss?
Everything.
There's explain your reasoning.
Yeah.
So,
Because she doesn't understand, like we
Yeah.
do.
Haven't left.
yeah. Well, okay, for backstory, I guess, like, where we live in Canada is kind of considered one of the foodie capitals of Canada, which we don't know living here. I think like, we don't realize
I'm
it.
learning about this now.
Yeah, because I definitely didn't realize it until I left, because I used to live in England too, and I noticed it first when I lived there, because British pub food is fantastic. Can't say the same for the rest of it. But living in Winnipeg and growing up here, having access to, like, so many cuisines, like, so much good, authentic food, like, we have
so many small corners, like
Yeah.
like little unique places and
yeah.
restaurants and shops and
Yeah, like we really have such a good community here, and it's so multicultural, and we have so many like immigrants that just come together and bring their own everything here that you kind of take it for granted. Like, I think we don't realize how multicultural it is, and especially the food we grew up with. Like, now that I've traveled more, I realize it's all authentic. Like, the Thai food here tastes like the Thai food in Thailand. Like, the Chinese food here tastes like the Chinese food in Hong Kong.
I've heard from Chinese friends that a lot of our Chinese food is not authentic.
Yeah, that's if you eat like the mall food and stuff.
But I think that comes from a biased place because a lot of the people that I know are from very different parts of China.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on which restaurant because obviously the cuisine, it's a huge country. The
Yeah.
cuisine varies a lot.
Yeah.
So like Spicy Noodle House, for example, is a very different region than say Golden Long.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So that's what I've kind of chalked it up to is like just different preferences between my Chinese friends based on where they're from in China.
Yeah.
But yeah, mall food is terrible. So. Just don't.
The bottom line is mall food sucks. But yeah, I don't know, like, I think there's just a lot of things about living here that you don't realize, like, is just so lucky. So,
I think Folklorama is one of
Yeah.
like, my favorite things here. Yeah. Like,
Folklorama, you should explain what that is.
oh, it's like similar like with what she was saying with like the food, like how it's like multicultural things where it's like each week here, is it in August or
It's
July?
2 weeks. There's 2
Yeah,
weeks in
2 weeks.
August.
In August, where it's like each country gets like a week to kind of represent their
A
like
pavilion.
their culture and stuff, and you go and it's like all decorated and people are wearing like kind of traditional outfits, like depending like which ones you go to, and like there's food and stuff too, and like performances, and like Galax-E performed at like the Korean one.
Check out our Korean performances
Yeah.
in the card.
Yeah. Yeah, because this festival, like, I feel like that just summarizes, like, how lucky we are in general. Like, Folklorama, it showcases, like, what, 60 countries or
It's
80
something,
countries?
yeah, it's
like,
an insane amount.
insane, yeah.
It's insane. Like, it's hard to do them all.
Yeah.
Like, they actually sell
can.
tours where they try to optimize, like, for your, you can buy, like, a overall pass, and they put you on a bus, and, like, for the whole 2 weeks, they try to get you to every pavilion.
Yeah. So you do, like, a mini around-the-world tour of, like, 80 different countries that are just holding performances and, like, have their own little setup all around the city. Like, it's so cool. But anyway, when I went to Korea, I loved Korean food in Winnipeg, like, and I still do like Korean food, but I realized the Korean food here is a little westernized because it's still very, like, savory and rich and salty and stuff. But in Korea, there's a lot of sugar. Like, literally everything you eat is sweet. Like, the garlic bread is sweet. The pasta is sweet. The
Yes.
pizza is
Yes,
sweet.
they put sugar
Like,
on everything.
I ordered pizza once.
Oh, their pizza's terrible.
Garlic pizza that was served with
Dessert.
honey, ice cream, and whipping cream. And it was on the dinner menu.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, their pizza is, like, first of all, not pizza in anyone's... like, Italian people would be, like, blasphemy on that, first of all.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I didn't actually experience this as much, only being there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But from watching Eat Your Kimchi back in the day, that was something that they made very clear, is they put sugar on everything. Like, even things that you would think don't need sugar at all.
Yeah.
And actually, sugar is a detriment to it. Like, savory is not a thing they really care about.
They hate
As a-
salt. Like,
as
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Which
the
is
only-
weird because they make so many soups.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the whole point of soups, is to be salt.
Yeah.
It's liquid salt. That's what soup is.
And the soups are pretty good.
Yeah,
Like, the
yeah.
soups
Oh, yeah.
are probably the safest bet if you are not a sweet person, like myself. But yeah, the food...
Any form of bread is sweet.
Yeah.
You can't get bread that's not sweet.
Yeah. And a lot of their, like, even their drinks and stuff, like, they come out with seasonal drinks all the time. And, like, right now, corn is their seasonal drink. But it literally tastes like a cob of corn mixed with sugar. Like,
Yeah, so it's
It's
like
just-
flavors you don't expect to
Yeah.
be sweet, and then they put sugar on it, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
yeah.
I think going in, especially not expecting it to
Yeah.
be sweet, would be a lot.
Would
Yeah.
be like a little jarring. You're like,
'Cause, like,
whoa.
yeah.
Like,
I really love sweet. I really love sweet things.
Yeah.
But if I go to take a bite of pizza and I'm expecting pizza,
Pizza.
Yeah.
it's,
If
it's gonna be
if you're biting
Exactly.
into garlic, and then it tastes like sugar, you're like, excuse you?
Yeah, that's the most offensive one.
You're like,
and that's the
this
one that I like.
you're like, this
never
isn't
got used to.
garlic. This is one of those cake things,
Yeah.
right? Where
Yeah.
everything's a cake.
Yeah. In Korea, everything's a cake. Oh my conspiracy.
Everything is a cake. That's such a catchphrase. Yeah.
Wait, so chips are sweet too?
So sweet. Oh my god. When my mom came
Oh.
to visit, she wanted some chips, but like literally all the chips in Korea are sweet.
Yeah.
And so anyway, she was like, I'm just gonna get Doritos. And I had not yet tried Korean Doritos, but I assumed they're in the same package. They say cheese on them. I was like, okay, that should be safe, right? So we opened the package and we took a bite and we were like, what is this? And we lifted it up to the light and it was literally glittering with sugar crystals. Like you could see them
Yeah.
on the
Oh my
chip.
Yeah.
God.
It was
The bugles that I was eating there, very sweet. Like they were spicy, but also very sweet.
very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know, like, Canadians put more salt on things. Like, we actually do.
That's true.
Like, compared to
we
America,
do
yeah.
with salt.
Really?
Yeah, like,
a
we
lot.
are more salty.
We-
They're
we-
more sugar.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
like we put more salt on stuff, and they tend to put more like trans fat or like
Yeah.
kind of those like
Oh,
bad
yeah.
treats. Like that's like is the difference.
What did you like most about living in Korea, and what was the worst thing about it?
Oh, what did I like most? Before COVID, the clubs and the festivals were amazing.
Social life seems really
Yeah.
like even from the short time I was there, it was like popping.
Yeah, the social life there, like the nightlife and stuff, was fantastic. Like, I've never experienced anything like that. I don't really like drinking that much. Like, I never really liked clubbing and stuff, but in Korea it was so different. Like, it wasn't. I feel like club culture kind of has this reputation of like you go out to hook up.
Yeah,
right?
especially here. Like
Yeah.
that's really the stereotype.
Yeah, like you just drink to like meet someone, whatever. But like in Korea, it was so not like that. It was genuinely just people going out to have fun with their friends, and like people would approach you, but most of the time it wasn't in a creepy way. It was like a genuine like let's have a chat and like go dance together. Like it wasn't.
That's so fun.
It wasn't
Yeah.
always like man sharks like circling their prey. Club culture here is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Yeah, it's really bad in Canada. Like
Yeah.
especially
Only
in
Winnipeg.
Canada.
We I don't know if we can speak for all of Canada,
That's
but
true.
Winnipeg.
At least Winnipeg, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, in Korea it was so fun. And like I went to so many music festivals my first year and they were so good. Like I love I love music festivals worldwide. But in Korea they were so like well organized. And
Music is such a big thing there.
Yeah.
So they take it very seriously.
yeah, and people were just so clean. Like there was no litter on the ground. Everyone just like
Bless.
actually yeah, I know.
That's
Okay, do you have a hard time finding garbage cans out in the public?
Okay, yes, garbage cans
Okay,
don't exist.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
okay.
thing.
So this is Korea. Can we talk for a second?
How do you have such
How are you so clean when there are no public garbage cans anywhere? Like because I'm such a polite Canadian, I just kept my garbage on my person until I was back at the hotel.
That's what people do.
But
Just
it's like
carry it with
it's
you.
like tteokbokki like tray
Yeah.
and it's covered in sauce and I'm just like
Yeah. Do you want to know the secret? Subway station bathrooms.
yes.
That's where you will
That's
always
also
find a garbage.
public bathrooms are like not a thing.
Yes.
Like you have to go. The subway is your only safe place to really
Oh,
guaranteed
wow.
bathroom.
Like unless if you're at a restaurant or a cafe or something, they obviously have bathrooms,
Yeah.
but it's like for patrons. Like you
So
can't
you
just
have
like
to buy
walk in.
something.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
I feel like is pretty normal, but at least I don't know. Like have you guys been to Europe?
I have.
Yeah, because they have like public bathrooms you can pay for there, right?
Yeah.
So if you need the bathroom wherever you go, like you can just put in like €1 and then there's gonna be a bathroom. But like Korea doesn't have that. But the subway stations are everywhere, so it's really easy. Like
Yeah, and it's a very like because they're everywhere. You're not going to be in a pinch. All right, so that is our basically conversation / interview about living in Korea as a foreigner.
yeah.
Hopefully, Katherine will move back to us very soon. 'Cause we miss her very, 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 very much.
5 months to go. I'll be back soon.
Yeah, I don't trust you.
Well,
She does this all the time. She's like, I'm coming back. Psych! One more year in Korea.
You even had to change your tickets like when you were coming
Yeah,
back this
that
time.
was actually her boss's fault.
I know, but
That-
like
yeah.
still, it was just
Yeah.
like
It was
Classic
typical.
Katherine.
Yeah, none of us were surprised. We were like, I had to change some dates, and we're like,
I saw
makes
the
sense.
ticket thing, and I didn't even look at your first ticket.
Yeah,
You were like, that's not
yeah,
real.
same. I
No.
didn't. I'll wait till she texts me I'm here, and then I'll know that she's here.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person Katherine is. She's very flighty.
I'm very flighty. Naughty.
So stay tuned. We're gonna have a collection of videos from Katherine about life in Korea in general. So this was just basically living as a foreigner. There's also going to be, I shouldn't say going to be, there's also dating in Korea. We're gonna go into the depths of that. Apologies in advance. And teaching in Korea, because that's what she was doing over there. So if you like this video, please click the like button. Comment any questions or comments or concerns in the comments.
Mostly concerns.
Mostly
probably.
concerns.
We're not okay.
Feel free to fact check us on anything, because we're just going on. This is a conversation. We're not Googling.
Just opinions.
Just
and
opinions and
chatting.
what we know and what we think we know. We're not
Yeah.
always correct.
Yeah.
Bad
Please.
memories.
Please don't make fun of us. Please don't be mean. And make sure to subscribe.
Only
if you-
comment if you say something nice.
Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're interested in watching any of our other videos, we've got so many dance covers, reaction videos, lots of BTS, and all that jazz. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye.